Welcome to another episode of Nourify and Beautify, the podcast that shows you the other side of beauty. Every week, we interview the experts in the world of beauty, health, and wellness so that you can make an informed decisions that are right for you. My name is Noura Bouchama.
And I'm Linda Yates. Today's guest is Kristina Tucker, Vice President of Sales and Corporate Communications at the Republic of Tea. Kristina is a true champion of tea culture with deep expertise in strategic sales, communications, and product storytelling. From regenerative organic farming to the art of sipping tea for wellness, she's here to walk us through why tea is more than just a beverage. It's a lifestyle. So grab your favorite cup and settle in for a meaningful chat on beauty from the inside out.
If this is your first time listening to Nourify and Beautify, welcome. We're so happy to have you. If you're a returning listener, we appreciate your support. Don't forget to follow or subscribe on your favorite podcast app and share this episode with someone who could benefit from this conversation. Now, let's get into it. Kristina, welcome. You've had such an exciting journey with the Republic of Tea. How did you first fall in love with tea as more than just a drink?
I think my journey started as I started to learn about herbs and then Camellia sinensis, which is, white tea, oolong tea, all the teas. And my passion has never wavered. It's only grown. I've been in the industry now for well over 2 decades, and I love all the discovery. Certainly, as we talk more about the Republic of Tea, we'll talk about just how vast the options are for people to enjoy and discover. So the self-discovery happens over and over every day for me.
Did the love start with tea or with the herbs?
It was happening at the same time in my life. It was early in my career. I was actually in the coffee business when I was introduced to some exotic teas from China. And that started this intrigue of how just this wonderful plant, Camellia sinensis, how it could just be so many different things, so many different ways to enjoy it, how it could be processed so differently. So the intrigue started at that point for tea, but at the same time, I was learning a lot about herbs and the cultivation of herbs and how to incorporate them into my life as well as the lives of my friends and my loved ones for wellness benefits. And this is back in the 90s. So both tea and herbs really weren't nearly as popular as they are today. So it's just been, again, a passion and a pleasure for me to see so many more people gravitate towards drinking tea and herbs, both together and separately.
You wear the title of Minister of Enlightenment, which we absolutely love. And what does that role mean in practice? And how does it connect with your work in communications and culture?
So I have a lot to live up to with the Minister of Enlightenment title. I think it puts me in a position to honor the story of the Republic of Tea in all forms. So it allows me to be able to share with people how the Republic of Tea can enrich their lives with our vast assortment of premium teas and herbs. We innovate, how we educate about teas and herbs, and how everything comes back to making our teas and herbs, all of our concoctions be just delicious, just great tasting all around. The Republic of Tea now has almost 400 varieties of teas and herbs, so there's truly endless discovery. You can find a favorite and enjoy that for a while, and then before you know it, you find another one, and then time goes by and you can rediscover something that you loved a long time ago. So as the Minister of Enlightenment, I have that opportunity to weave that in not only to those who sip our tea, our citizens of the Republic, but also our entire ministry. So at the Republic of Tea, when you're an employee, you become a minister, and I help our new ministers, as well as those who have been with the company for a long time, continue those discoveries of different tastes, different functions, just all the pleasure and delight that the Republic of Tea can bring.
For many of our listeners, tea is part of their self-care. But from your view, how do ingredients in tea support skin health, and overall wellness?
There's so many ways to answer that question. So I'll start with one that is just in the preparation of tea, you're taking time for yourself. So there is that self-care in that you're doing something that's honoring yourself. And often you're preparing tea for somebody else. So you're already expressing care for someone else, which I think is also part of one's self-care. So it all starts just in the preparation, but then um, how tea relates back to self care is just with all the senses igniting the smells, the beautiful colors. There's all of those steps. And then we get into some of the functionality of the many different herbs out there, as well as Camellia sinensis and how teas can be great for our well being. And then in terms of function. So we all know that Camellia sinensis, most studies have been done around green tea, has an abundance of catechins and polyphenols, things that help our well-being, our immunity. And then with a lot of the herbs, we blend with herbs like we blend it with a lot of hibiscus, which can be very hydrating. So when we talk specifically about skin health, certainly we want to have hydration. And then we blend with various other herbs that can have benefits for the skin, like blue butterfly pea flower, which is high in the flavonoid anthocyanins. So here again, we're helping with our skin health with an ingredient that might help just our radiance. We also blend with herbs like chamomile and rose hips, and oh, I could just go on and on. There's so many choices out there that have functionality and great taste too.
There's a lot of buzz about regenerative farming lately. And can you talk about how the Republic of Tea is approaching sustainability and why it matters in the wellness space?
Well, sustainability is a core value of the Republic of Tea. When the Republic of Tea started back in 1992, in the charter, there was a commitment for just environmental consciousness, just overall consciousness for the long term. So any sort of sustainability movement or ideals really stems from that idea of conscientiousness in the long term. So when we think of it that way, it's just rooted in our core value. Now, regenerative organic certification and working with the Regenerative Organic Alliance, that comes very naturally for us. We have always valued organic. We were the first tea company to roll out USDA organic certified teas back in 2002. So it's just a part of a core value for us. But furthermore, now that with regenerative organic certification, again, that's that long term thinking about holistically what's going on the farms, from the soil health to the animal welfare, certainly to the farmers' welfare, to empowering them, and thinking about what is this land going to be able to produce 5, 10, 20, 100 years from now. So really thinking of it in that way, and taking all of those factors into account. So it was a priority for us to start to find regenerative organic certified teas and herbs. Right now we have 3, certainly excited for what this movement's going to provide us in the future.
We know people are drawn to wellness products that they can trust, really can trust. What are some of the quality control standards or sourcing values your team follows to set your teas apart?
I'll start with quality assurance is very important to us. So we have 2 labs that sit side by side. One is the quality assurance lab, so that's where all the bench testing is happening. So we're maintaining our high level of quality as well as consistently. So we know that our citizens can trust that they'll continue to get that great taste and that functionality that they expect over and over and over again. So we have the quality assurance lab, and then we have what we call our sip tank. That's our innovation lab. So right there, that's where all of these new innovations that we're working on, and we launch 10, 20, 30 new teas and herbs a year. So they're always working on creations and concoctions And it really starts there. So whatever they're bringing in, whatever they're sourcing to continue to create these new blends and innovations for us starts at a high level of quality assurance. We have long-term suppliers that we're working with, and then as we're discovering new suppliers, we have a long list of credentials that need to be met for us to collaborate, and then we'll work together to create some wonderful innovations.
Can you elaborate a little bit more on the regulation? I know most of our listeners might not really fully understand what does it follow. Is it food? Is it supplement? Because as you mentioned, it has a lot of functionalities. So where does it sit in the regulation world?
There are various regulations that we need to abide by. So we go through not only thorough testing, but thorough inspections multiple times a year. So there is that level of integrity that is happening ongoing all the time. So we're steadfast in our commitments to upholding that high level of purity and quality and transparency and integrity in every ingredient that we bring in. It's always a continued journey of learning. So we work closely with organizations that we're deeply integrated into to make sure we're staying at the forefront of regulations. So we're very vested in the American Herbal Products Association, the Climate Collaborative, the Ethical Tea Partnership, Upcycled Food Association. So we have many partners that help us stay at the forefront of everything from food regulations to
IA, your company is pretty high up there. Like you try to follow the highest standards. And we know that about your company. But I'm talking on more in general, like the tea industry. Where does it sit exactly?
Well, the tea industry, since there are so many countries that are part of the tea industry, I will lean into our partnership with the Ethical Tea Partnership. So we were the first North American member of the Ethical Tea Partnership. This is about 25 years ago. And the Ethical Tea Partnership integrates those high standards from quality, environmental standards, ethics, certainly economics, as well as equity at the source. And part of what the Ethical Tea Partnership does is every member uh, privately discloses every farm and garden that we source from. And then that is then monitored through the Ethical Tea Partnership. So there's another area of ethics and standards that's happening in addition to everything that we're doing on our end. And so the Ethical Tea Partnership rises the standard for the entire industry in the functionality that they do. And then they have all the members, it's a pre-competitive space. So all the members of the Ethical Tea Partnership, various tea companies from around the world, various manufacturers, are united in this long-term commitment to sustainability and ethics in the industry as a whole.
What's your favorite tea, Kristina?
Whatever's in my cup. And it changes all the time, all day long. But there's so much to discover.
Like what I'm saying, that every day you find a new herb that you like, a new kind of tea, and it's never the same.
Never the same. No, right now I'm drinking some organic nettle that we have. Before that, I had some of our beauty brain, which is really delicious. So there's some lion's mane, some ginkgo biloba. So anything to help my cognition, I'm all about. But I start most days with some green tea. Our organic double green matcha is just an amazing way to start the day. But it changes all the time. I probably will drink next. We talked about regenerative organic certification. We have our organic Tulsi, and that is usually how I end my day. But again, it just changes with whatever I might have available to me. And most ministers are that same way. We're always on the journey. We're always exploring.
You recently attended Expo West and one of the biggest events in natural products. What were some of the highlights or lessons you walked away with, especially from a brand perspective?
I'll go back to our discussion about regenerative organic certification. I was really pleased to see so many brands embracing the certification and also taking on the education. So that is going to be a big difference when the brands can tell the story and make it approachable to their current consumers as well as new consumers. It really will help to expand the awareness of what this certification can do. So I was so pleased at Expo West to see so many brands working hard to find a regenerative organic option, whatever their products might be. So I think that was very inspiring. The commitment to organic is never ending at Expo West. So really pleased to see that's almost like a point of entry now that the food goes through organic certification. So pleased to see that. Expo West is always a blast just in terms of what new trends are coming out. I'm amazed that there's so much acceptability and interest in herbs like ashwagandha, and echinacea is still really popular, even lemon balm. Just seeing plants that I think are wonderful parts of people's lives now becoming so available.
Yeah. And you've also done a lot of podcast interviews before. How do you think a conversation like this one help connect consumers more deeply with their favorite brands?
Oh, I think podcasts are a great opportunity for consumers to connect with the people behind the brands. So often that's not that available, or they might not be able to hear voices or conversations in that way. So I think for consumers, hearing from manufacturers and brands gives them an opportunity to build trust and maybe understand a little bit more about the why a brand is what it is, who the brand is, and why they are doing what they're doing, and kind of what the brands stand for them. So because it is about the consumers having a wonderful experience with the brands that they come to know and love and trust.
I like how you said who the brand is because that's what it makes it. When we see that the people behind the brand, we know who's the brand.
I agree. I agree. So thank you for the opportunity to be able to tell a little bit more about the Republic of Tea through your podcast. I've been enjoying your episodes.
Oh,
Yeah, it's very fun. Yeah, people buy people. And people buy the why. For someone listening who's just beginning their tea journey, where should they start? And do you have a favorite, must try?
Wow. Well, I would encourage people just to explore the website. Maybe if they're looking for something, I can confidently say they're going to find something that's going to taste delicious, because we put that is number one for us, to make sure that we offer great tasting teas and herbs that will fulfill and enrich them. But then we have so many great collections. So for example, your listeners may really enjoy our beautifying botanicals. So this is a whole collection of herbal teas that have a intent to have some sort of functionality towards beauty in whatever way, whatever that means to whomever. But so the beautifying botanicals might be a great place to start. We have a daily beauty that is just delicious. So maybe that's a place. But we also have a whole collection of our super adapt teas, which are all adaptogenic herbs. So if they're looking to discover a way to incorporate incorporate adaptogenic herbs like rhodiola or cordyceps or ashwagandha, that is a great way to explore. But then certainly if they're just looking for different ways to enjoy green tea, we have so many varieties. If they like peach or if they like blueberry, there's something in there. And then I'll wrap it. There are so many that are amazing. I will say that there are some signature teas that people might find very approachable and available, and that would be like our ginger peach black tea, and we have ginger peach green tea and ginger peach rooibos. There's so many options, but ginger peach is a signature flavor. Same with blackberry sage is another signature combination that the Republic of Tea offers. There's the whole world of matcha. There's just so much. So I don't want to overwhelm anybody if they're just getting into the Republic or into the tea industry or into sipping tea. Just make it easy. Maybe come up with a couple of favorite either flavors or functions that they're looking for to get started.
As you mentioned, overwhelming. True. Going into this world is overwhelming, especially when you go to functional teas, like you mentioned ashwagandha. Ashwagandha, it's calming tea. And you have peppermint, for example, and then you have chamomile, and you have a lot of other plants that all calming. How can we choose which one we should go to first?
I think it's what you're looking for. It was many years ago. Had that same sort of feeling of like, I don't know what's speaking to me. And sometimes it's as simple as just really listening to yourself and what might speak to you. There might be something that is drawing you towards, like I was saying, there you want to maybe experiment with something that might help with cognitive health or concentration. So maybe looking for something like I mentioned that beauty brain and having some ginkgo biloba and some lion's mane, or maybe you're looking for something that might support some liver health like milk thistle, and maybe that's the direction that's calling to you. So I think a lot of what you might discover might just be what you feel you either are craving or that you feel your body is needing. And then tea and herbs it's a very gentle and mild way to start that journey with some functions if that's what someone's looking to do. An infusion is very easy to sip. You can do it at your own pace. It's again mild, and so it very approachable. It should be very easy and enjoyable. Yes.
Follow your inner self and listen to your body. As a leader in the fast growing wellness category, what excites you most about the future of tea and its role in beauty and health?
Oh, well, we're at such a wonderful intersection right now with people being more aware of what they're consuming and how it makes them feel, and looking for foods or teas or just different products, even what they use in their skincare, and being more aware of how they makes them feel individually. So almost like people are embracing personalizing whatever they're ingesting or applying. And so tea is just like in the perfect intersection of that movement. So I think that is what is most exciting to me. And as I mentioned to you, when I started in this business, it was a bit more unusual to talk about functional herbs or the benefits of Camellia sinensis and L-theanine and antioxidants and anthocyanins. This is all something people just in the industry would talk about. And now hearing it when people are prioritizing it for their own personal health is incredibly inspiring and definitely motivating towards a bright future for the industry.
Christina, this has been a beautiful conversation. And before we close, if there's one thing you want our listeners to remember about the role of tea in their lives, what would it be?
Let the beauty of teas and herbs enrich your life. They truly can. They're available for your pleasure and delight through great taste and smell and the beautiful colors that they offer. And then as an added benefit are all these wonderful functions that they can help with one's wellness if they wish. But yeah, to let it be enriching and joyful.
Where can people go to find you and the Republic of Tea?
Republicoftea.com is the best place. That's where all the teas and herbs are available. So that whole wide range of assortment can be discovered at republicoftea.com. Certainly fun recipes are available on the website, but also you can find us in social media at Republic of Tea. So encourage people out there if they're looking to start their tea journey or if they're deeply vested, there's a lot to discover at republicoftea.com.
That's really nice. Thank you so much for being with us. We appreciate that.
Thank you both. It was really, like you said, a beautiful conversation.
We want to thank you for listening to Nourify and Beautify, where we show you the other side of beauty. If you'd like to learn more about us or read our blog, visit us at nourify-beautify.com. I'm Linda Yates.
And I'm Nora Bushamam. See you next time.